And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Oh, oh, oh. Hey y'all, this is Jess Melodies coming to you again with a vlog for the week. This week we're going to be talking about the best albums so far of 2018. So there are 4 spots, and coming in the 4th spot we have Justin Timberlake's album Man of the Woods. I really did like this album. The production was crazy to me. There were just so many different sounds, so many different instruments that you heard throughout. I mean, the production was just absolutely amazing. The vocals were okay. And that's expected because Justin Timberlake isn't, a grand singer. He will give you vocals that'll be average. The vocal capability is okay. The vocals in this album were okay, but it wasn't something, it wasn't Prince. Now we can tell in the album that a lot of it was inspired by Prince, hence we saw at the Super Bowl earlier this year. Some of the songs will sound like a Chris Brown track, you'll get a Prince vibe off of it, and so there were just so many different emotions within this album. In terms of the lyrical content, it wasn't this profound message. It's about women, it's about partying, it's about love, so very typical. This was like a typical JT album. It wasn't anything that we haven't heard or seen before by him. And so that's why it came in at number 4. Had this been the first album that Justin Timberlake ever released, this would have definitely been number 1 for me. But because we've had albums from him before and they kind of all sound the same, just like Man of the Woods, however, that doesn't take away from the fact that this was a great album. My favorite song on Man of the Woods would probably be Higher Higher. I really like the beat of it and the overall production. Coming in number 3, we have one of my new favorites, Cardi B. Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy. This album is amazing. What I really liked about this album is that she really stayed true to herself. You didn't hear those super pop tracks that are guaranteed to get radio play. She definitely stayed true to herself. You'll get a wide range of different songs. You'll get your ratchet songs in. It's a whole lot of trap beats. The production is okay. You know that she definitely had to add that Latina flavor in there.
I like it like that.
I love that song, by the way. When it got to the Spanish part, I kind of got lost in it, but still an awesome song. This album is very much like a diary for Cardi B. Like, she's just talking about the different stages in her life and how she won. Nobody believed in her. People didn't think she would get far. People thought that she was just ratchet and ghetto and she wouldn't have anything. And here she is with the number 1 album, out here winning. And so I am so happy for Cardi B. I love the album. I was just listening to it the other day, and I hope that she continues to win and prove the naysayers wrong. Go Cardi. Go Cardi.
Go Cardi.
Go Cardi.
With this album, you'll get your samples, you'll get your Juicy J sample, you'll get your Lauryn Hill sample. And actually that Lauryn Hill sample is actually my favorite song on the album, Be Careful. And she's like, brother, you better get your act together. Be careful, because I am one of the best things that's happened to you. I'm not comparable. But no, I really did like that song. And for the number 2 spot, we have KOD, J. Cole's album that debuted in April. Once again, amazing album, amazing body of work. I actually did a review on this album where I did a really close analysis of each song, the overall theme. The link is attached to the description of this video, so go ahead and click on that and you'll see my review of the KOD album and why it ranks so high for me. Summed up, the album is about drugs and addiction and ways that you can conquer the addiction and be better and live better. My favorite song off of KOD will be Window Pane. It was a very heart-wrenching song. Now for the drum roll. Yeah, I know that did not sound like drums, but I tried. The #1 album of the year thus far will be November by Sir. So I'm scrolling down my Instagram and I happen to see a behind the scenes video of his song The Evil, and I'm just like, who is this guy? Like, I really like the song. I really like the production of the song. The content of the video was amazing. So I go and check him out and I see that he had a project called November that came out this year. So I'm listening to the album. When I tell you, I have been depriving myself all freaking year. This is an artist that embodies everything. There was great lyrical content. There was great vocals. And the production was absolutely amazing. It is very rare that you get all three of those in one artist and one album. With the vocals, his range is absolutely amazing. He can give you really low, he can give you really high, he can give you falsetto. He's just very creative with his voice. And then with the production, it was so refreshing to finally hear something that didn't have a trap beat on it. You know, there were real drums, there were real trumpets. A big piece of this album is merging jazz with hip hop. And I love that sound. And we all know the pioneer of that is Robert Glasper. It's really hard to do, but when you do it and you master it, it is the most amazing sound I have ever heard in my life. And so because I love that sound, I gravitated to this album in such a way because I'm a huge fan of Robert Glasper. And then I did some research on him to kind of see who he's worked with in the past. One of them being one of my favorite artists of all time, Mother of the Earth herself, Jill Scott. So immediately when I saw that he has worked with Jill Scott, I'm like, okay, this guy, he's gonna be amazing. He's gonna be amazing. Like, there's no way he couldn't be, right? This album is pretty much talking about the battlefield of love and the different stages of love and the different stages of relationships. There is the lack of communication, the breakups, the makeups, me realizing that I can't live my life without you. But ultimately, he doesn't want to be alone, and so he's going to keep this thing going until he's actually convinced that this is the one for him. But does it get to a point where it's too late? The album is very relatable. It highlights what really happens within relationships. It's not all glitz and glamour and perfection. There are going to be different seasons of your relationship where, you know, there are going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. And this album pretty much highlights that entire journey from start to finish. My favorite song on November is Something New featuring Etta Bond. The song talks about how if everything falls apart in my life, if I lose everything, I will still be content and happy in life because I have you. If everything else falls apart, I'll still have you. If I can't find my way back home, I'll make something new. Something new. Something new. And so that wraps up the best albums of 2018 thus far. If we talked about the best albums of 2018, you can only imagine what we're going to talk about for the next video. So if you like this video, click up that thumbs up sign and also subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace and love, everybody.